Hey man, I just got back from Shiva Shakti festival, Voices of Love, which was a festival from a Waiheke mystery school, the Waiheke Island Mystery School, do a festival every summer called Shiva Shakti for the last 4 years. And every year they move through a different chakra in the body as a festival motive, a festival energy, a festival experience. And the experience this year was the throat chakra, expression of the throat chakra. So expression, voices, speaking, the sound of your voice, the energy of your voice, the energy of moving through your body from your voice, expressing yourself in every way. The whole festival was about expression. This year, vocal expression, sound. And I really enjoyed the experience. Every festival I go to feels like to me you're entering into a portal to another world, because you leave society behind, and it feels like it's a form of escapism on some level, but on other levels it's a portal to another world, to another experience, to another level of existence in so many ways, because you're having so many experiences that you wouldn't have in everyday reality if you're out in everyday reality having a 9-to-5 job or a working experience in life. And the connections that you make at these festivals, which is the most important part for me now, is the connections, whereas my festival experiences before 2020, 2021, 2022 were very hedonistic in the sense that I was going to festivals basically to get fucked up on drugs and dance my ass off and have a really fun time. And I did it with great skill and aplomb. I had a fucking great time doing 30 years of festivals in a place, in a way that I was going to those festivals to have a really fucking fun time and do shit tons of drugs, dance my ass off, do my own thing, meet people, connect with people, see old friends, but never in a way that to go to festivals to get any action, like to pull a girl or to meet a woman or to have sex. Or it was never my thing at festivals. Every festival I've been to around the world for that time frame was about, basically apart from Shambhala in 2002, was to go and get fucked up and have a really good time dancing, meeting people on some level, but just really going to have fun with my crew and my friends. And this in 2020 I decided to call it a day. When regards to my drug taking, I was like, okay, that's enough. My body needs a break from this. 30 years of doing this and having the same experience over and over again. It's getting kind of boring for me. So I decided to give it a miss and no longer be in that world anymore. Walk away from it. And when I was a young man in my early 20s, when I first started going to festivals in Nelson region, Tasman Bay region, Marahau, Kaiteriteri, Onikaka, Rangihati and the Golden Bay, Takaka, Canaan Downs, Nelson, Motueka region, up the Orinoco Valley, dance festivals like psych trance festivals. When I started going to psych trance festivals when I was like in my early 20s, I was taking acid, shit tons of acid to stay up all night and dance my ass off. And that was fucking great fun. But before that, I was going to wellness festivals, spiritual festivals, a time when the energy was moving through the Tasman Bay region in a way that was bringing people from all over the world to live there, because the energy was so palatable, and you were getting downloads and accelerations all the time while we were there in Nelson, Tasman Bay region. And I would go back up there every year from 1993 through to 1997, and I'd go there every year to pick apples in the late summer and make money to go traveling around the country for a little bit, or to boost my savings so that would allow me to do things I wanted to do in regards to courses, give me a bit more freedom to move around the country, a bit more freedom to go to places, have a bit more time in my life to be able to experience what I wanted to experience at the time. Or, and as I did in 1997, to go to Australia and then travel around Australia for 2 years, Tasmania as well, and then use it as a springboard to go onwards and travel some of the world. So festivals back then for me, and I came back to that world. I came back to that spiritual world being much more wiser. I had a lot more experience in my life. And it's funny going to a festival like Shiva Shakti for me when I go there, and this is a beautiful boutique size festival, maybe 350 people the most, which is fucking fantastic for me. I love the smaller festivals. I love the intimacy of small festivals, the people that you meet, the connections that you make, especially when you're sober and there's no alcohol or substances involved. I love the ability to come to a festival like that and know that you are escaping for a moment the world outside, and the bubble that you create, the container that you create in that world that you enter into. When you go into that world, when you create that bubble, what you experience is something unique. You don't find it in everyday life. You know, you're not going to find it on your 9-to-5 job. You're going to have this experience where you're in a bubble, and in that bubble you may have the most amazing connections with people. You go to the most amazing workshops, you have the most amazing experiences, and you might learn something new. You might gain some wisdom. You might have a conversation with someone you would never meet in everyday life. And that conversation might take you to a place where you have a deeper understanding about something in your own life that could help you in regards to your own personal growth. It could be a conversation that ignites a romantic connection. It could be a conversation that ignites a deep friendship with someone, and you see that individual at every festival you go to afterwards. But for me, I used to do like, every summer in New Zealand, I would do at least 4 festivals, if not 5. And that was enough for me. I was festivaled out after that. I needed a break because I was doing a lot of drugs at the time as well. But now I've come back into a place where I've actually having to recalibrate. And that recalibration for me, and even though I'm going to festivals that are more wellness and health and consciousness elevating, because the whole notion of a festival like Shiva Shakti is more about embodiment, dropping into the body, becoming more embodied in the festival experience, the connections that we make, the energy that's passed between everyone in the festival space. And that festival for me was beautiful in so many ways because of the nature of the connections that I had with people when I was there. And the connections that I made with people that were there, the new connections, the old connections, people I'd seen for a long time, the revitalization of some connections as well, what I could offer to some people in regards to being a communicator and a connector and bringing people together. And it ended quite wonderfully by meeting a beautiful, beautiful Italian woman called Aria, who my friend Anivan, who knows her, not so well, but knows of her. And when I looked into her eyes and she told me that her name was from Lemuria, I could see in her eyes the epoch, the living epoch of Lemuria in her eyes, her beautiful green eyes. And not the kind of green that you see every day. It was a very, how do I put this? It wasn't even a forest green. The green was a green like I've never seen before in any other woman's eyes. There's other friends that were there that had green eyes, light green and a little dark. But this green was more like a ponamu, a green stone, which is found on the west coast of the South Island green. It was a signature for me of an epoch, and the energy of that festival had the same expression as well for me. There's an expression in that energy field of that festival site, and where we were, it felt like Australia to me in many ways. The eucalyptus trees, the tea tree, the manuka trees that look like tea trees in Australia, the lake, the landscape, everything about it felt like it was like I was back in Australia again, actually. Northern New South Wales, kind of northern Queensland, no, northern Victoria, sort of New South Wales kind of territory, those two states. The land felt the same, it looked the same every way. It was quite bizarre, actually. But the site itself, when I was there, when I was dropping into the space and feeling into it energetically, when I finally was beginning to leave the site, meeting Aria and seeing her eyes, and then she telling me that her name came from Lemuria, it was like, the energy here is Lemurian. The energy of the land, the container that's created in that land, the mystery school work that comes with it, that created this festival, Shiva Shakti. To me, it feels like it's a Lemurian energy that I don't know enough about the mystery school to go into that world, but the mystery school revolves around Tantra, Yoga Tantra from India. But the actual mystery school work, I feel as though, in my perception, the reason why they were drawn to that land, to use that land, which actually is it's just called June Lakes Lodge. It's a horse what I call a retreat sanctuary, training area. I a place for horses to come where they need to, when they get older and someone wants to move them on, they can come to this land and have their final years and have a beautiful experience of living on the land, being nourished and nurtured by the owners of the land. Horses are often trained there as well. The beautiful part of the experience of the festival itself was that 3 horses that were well trained and very, very docile were left free to wander around the festival site. So you'd be walking around, there'd be a horse come up next to you, stand next to you and look at you, and then wander off at the festival site, which is beautiful. There's an interaction with us and the horses, and this being the year of the fire horse, I thought that was pretty interesting as well, that situation. We had that as well this year at that festival site. But festivals in general for me, when I'm at the festival site, it's like almost on some level I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave the experience and come back into the world outside of it. I know that's a necessity for me in my life experience to actually leave that festival site and go out. But it's amazing how other people in that festival site feel exactly the same way. They don't want to leave either. It's funny to me, it cracks me up when I go to a festival and the last day of the festival, everyone's kind of getting ready to go and leave and move on. Some people decide to stay and hang out a little bit longer. Others decide to stay for one more night because they want the experience to continue for them, however that looks. And I would have stayed at the festival site last night had the chai tent remained where it was, but it was packed up. Everyone was getting ready to go home, back to their various locations. So I was like, no, it's time for me to leave too. And I have stayed at the last 3 festivals I've been to. I've stayed at those festivals and not left on the last day. But this one, I was like, no, I need to go. I need to go. I need to go. I'll move on. And I got a lot out of this festival, energetically, physically, mentally, spiritually. It was very much a festival experience for me where I got what I needed in that 3 days. The moments where I was triggered into places of stillness, I met the right people, the right healers, the right energies, the right experiences, the right confluences of conversations. I was in the right place at the right time in every experience I had at that festival. And what I learned about myself and where I am in my life right now has been during that festival experience by meeting people and various healers in that festival experience. What I learned about myself at that festival was I need to have more femininity in my life at the moment in regards to my expression. I'm very much on my masculine. I'm action orientated so heavily in the last wee while, due to the nature of the fact that I had got things to do in my life I need to take care of, and I'm actually putting myself into a place where I'm constantly in action rather than being in a place of more receptivity. I need to turn that around in a way, and today I'm doing my best to do that, to get more receptive and get into a more receptive alignment moving forward in this week. And I allow the femininity and the feminine energy to flow into my life in a way that allows me to move and receive, and in that reception and taking that energy in and being clear about my intuitive pingings, to move in a way that allows the masculine, the Shiva and the Shakti, to come together in a place of balance. And in that balance, I'll be able to move forward in my life and know that I'm moving towards where I need to be, where I am drawn to, where my spirit, my heart, is bringing me closer to the destination I need to be moving towards. Because the journey for me is all what it's really about, is the journey, not the destination. But the destination is final, which is me leaving my physical form. But on the way, the journey is the most important experience to focus on for me now. Because I'm looking I can feel this before I went to the festival, I was looking for a destination in regards to a few things in my life, like some security in a number of aspects of my life. Rather than trusting, I was pushing into places and having not necessarily disappointments, but expectations around those situations, and pushing into areas where my spirit, my soul was saying like, no, you don't need to go there. You need to go back in and become more feminine, and that feminine receptive energy, and by doing that, allowing spirit to align with God, and then let God move me to where I need to be and to do what I need to do. I had 2 affirmations from people at that festival as well, saying the same thing to me. You're not following your heart, your life purpose, and your body is reacting to it, saying like, no, you need to go there rather than here. And I get that. And then today for me it's about recalibration as well after the festival, integration, embodiment of what I learnt. But there is a force at work here that I have to still maintain in a very subtle way, in a very honest way, which is I have clients that have now asked me to do work for them, so I will work and do those jobs, but I will look to invest my energy and my time along that sole purpose. And I know what it is. I know that if it was aligned in a way that allowed me to have financial security and the freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do and to do what I wanted to do 110%, I could make TV series, movies, graphic novels, and my books with everything I've written with Ohoakebooks. If I had the freedom to be able to produce those into TV series, books, graphic novels, that's where my energy would be. If it gave me a financial opportunity to be able to do that every day that I wanted to work, and it gave me the freedom to be able to be myself and do whatever I wanted to do, the perfect balance would be struck, and I'd be happy, very happy. In fact, I'd be ecstatic. Thanks for watching, I truly appreciate it. Matewa. And thank you to the creators of Shiva Shakti Festival as well. It was a really amazing experience for me. I wasn't going to come, but I was drawn to, like, yeah, okay, if it's going to happen, if it's going to align, I'll go. And it aligned, and I do appreciate it immensely. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon.